as an anchor. I co-anchor, of course, is Congressman Torres from New York, and we thank him for his leadership. But we thank in particular the chair of the Congressional Black Caucus, Joyce Beatty, who has been an enormous leader on any number of issues that are crucial to the American people and to African Americans. The one thing I say about the Congressional Black Caucus, representing millions and millions of Americans, we represent a diverse population of Americans, and very proud to as well represent those of African American heritage. In fact, the descendants of freed slaves. And so we rise today to emphasize the cruciality of the Build Back Better Act for moving the nation forward, and particularly moving forward those who the Congressional Black Caucus represent. So I'm very pleased this evening to be joined by my outstanding colleagues, which will include Congresswoman Adams of North Carolina, Congresswoman Bonnie Watson Coleman of New Jersey, Congressman Dwight Evans of Pennsylvania, and Congressman Steve Horsford of Nevada. There are others, such as Congresswoman Gwen Moore, the great state of Wisconsin. Other members may come, but we want to ensure that, Mr. Speaker, I ask unanimous consent that all members have 5 legislative days to revise and extend their remarks and include any extraneous material on the subject of this special order. Thank you very much. Let me be very clear and refute a statement that I just recently heard on the floor. Nothing is ignorant in the Build Back Better bill and or the bipartisan infrastructure bill. In fact, ignorance is stamped out by these bills. One, they are fully paid for as we are working the final edges of that. And number two, they're doing things that is long overdue for America. Who are we, as President Biden stands at the G20 and now at the Climate Change Conference? Who are we? We are leaders of the free world. In fact, we are the leader. And although there are debates on the status of Russia and China, the competitive nature of China, all that has basis in facts. But at the same time as these facts are present, the United States continues to grow and to move and to ensure the opportunities for its citizens. It is not our creed to randomly snatch people off the street and lock them up. It is not our focus to ensure that voices are not heard or that people of different religions are treated differently, arrested, isolated, brutalized even. It's not our basic creed to enact laws that would help us take very important proprietary information from others. We are a democracy, and we are aided by the laws of that principle. And so I take no backseat to whether or not Russia and China are competitive or are proposed world powers. What I say is that the United States has all of the elements of continuing her posture of leadership, and one of those elements will be the successful passage of the Build Back Better Act and BIF, the Bipartisan Infrastructure Bill, kind of legislation that is not seen even amongst our European friends of late, nor of China or Russia. We're standing on the precipice of history, and I'm very grateful for the leadership of the Congressional Black Caucus that has been at the forefront of these matters. Again, working with so many of our colleagues, we lead as full committee chairs, having input into this bill. So let me very quickly indicate that we are strongly supporting the $1.75 billion Build Back Better Act conceived and advanced by the President and House Democrats. We are grateful that we have had moments of negotiations with our other caucuses. Those caucuses are likewise ensuring that the T's are crossed and I's are dotted. Mr. Speaker, what is wrong with that? Because when we finally bring a bill, we want to make sure that it is vetted. And that's what so many of our members of the CBC were able to do, be part of the vetting. It is also important in this 2021, 21st century that we go big. It's often said that the federal budget is an expression of the nation's values, and the investments made to build back better are, in fact, a clear declaration of congressional Democrats, of the Congressional Black Caucus, to ensuring that our government, our economy, and our systems work for the people. We've always been the voice of the vulnerable. We've always been the conscience of the Congress. So these are long overdue investments. The Build Back Better Act makes transformative investments, as our chairwoman has often said. We need to continue growing our economy, lower costs for working families. This $1.75 trillion, which, by the way, I refute the statement of ignorance, because the statement was ignorant, because they were speaking of $3.5 trillion, which was paid for, but we have come to a conclusion and a compromise of $1.75 trillion. Are the American people worth this? Are vulnerable communities worth this? Are children who suffer from lead pipes and water from those pipes, are they worth it? The Congressional Black Caucus feels it is the case. And so that is why we have supported the improvement in education, health care, and child care in particular, which will particularly help those of our community who have for too long either gone without child care and suffered, or paid more than half of their income. Child care is an important element of our work. And so I've got the Gingerbread Child Care Center, husband and wife who made the sacrifice to help vulnerable parents have child care. Parents who had to leave in the middle of the night, people who worked at night, essential workers, parents who worked for a period of time